اعضای مجلس ویکتوریا.
I want to start by acknowledging that we are on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and pay our respects to them and their elders, and to know that this is Aboriginal land. It always was, always will be Aboriginal land. And as we are talking and campaigning and rallying for justice for the people of Iran and for Mehsa Amini and for the women of Iran, we must also be rallying and campaigning for justice for our First Nations peoples here in Australia. Because human rights are universal. Human rights should belong to everybody. Everybody has a right to freedom and to a life. Mehsa Amini was 22. She was visiting Tehran with her brother, her parents. She was from Kurdistan. It was a family trip before beginning university. And Mehsa Amini was brutally murdered by the Iranian regime, killed by the Iranian police. The Iranian regime, they believe that they can hold on to their power by force. They believe that they can murder their citizens and no one will pay attention. They believe that if a young woman is beaten in the back of a police van and then dies, that no one will pay attention, that no one will remember her, that no one will remember her name. But we will, and we will say her name. Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! The Iranian regime, they have cracked down on any opposition. They have detained, they have tortured, they have killed citizens. There was no free and fair election that elected Ebrahim Raisi, who is a serial human rights abuser, who is still in power. And he believes that if he locks up, if he tortures, and he kills enough people, that he will remain in power. But that is not so. In Iran, we know that there are thousands and thousands of people who are being so brave, so courageous, by rallying in the streets in over 80 cities, demanding justice. We know that women are burning their hijabs to demand freedom. We know that the bravery and the courage has led to over 70 people being killed. But they are still marching. The people of Iran are still marching. They are marching in memory of Mehsa Amini, and they are marching for the people of Iran. They are marching for freedom for the women of Iran. They are saying her name. Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! And around the world, there are rallies, there are people like this all around the world in solidarity with Mehsa Amini, in solidarity with her family, all protesting because they know that the Iranian authorities' oppression of women, of LGBTIQA+ people, of minorities, including the Baha'i, they know that this must end. And here in Melbourne, here we are, thousands of people here rallying in solidarity, showing the power of people, protesting injustice and protesting cruelty, and remembering Mehsa Amini and saying her name. Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Mehsa Amini! Because we know that Mehsa Amini is our sister. We are her sisters, we are her brothers, we are her mothers, we are her fathers and her uncles and her aunts and her cousins. She is one of us. She is a citizen of the world who did not deserve to die. And we know that we need, by campaigning for justice, we are going to be campaigning for justice for all people who are oppressed in Iran, for the women of Iran, and for people who are oppressed under dictatorships around the world. So we have got so much more that we can do. Here in Australia, we should be accepting more refugees of people who are fleeing that brutal regime in Iran. We need a foreign policy that is based in human rights. And I'm pleased that the Australian government has spoken out and has called for an immediate inquiry into what has happened. But we have to do more. And so what can we do? Firstly, we can remember Mehsa Amini and say her name. Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini. And we have to keep remembering and to keep rallying, to keep protesting and to remain hopeful, to know that we are working together with millions of people around the world who are fighting for justice, that the majority of the people of the world want to see justice in Iran. They want to see justice against all brutal regimes around the world, and to stay hopeful that by working together we can win, we can achieve justice. We will win. We will win. And remember and be inspired by the courage, the bravery, in memory of Mehsa Amini, in memory of everybody who has been brutally killed and murdered, and everybody whose rights are being oppressed, that we will liberate them, we will win, we will remember, and we will say her name. Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini, Mehsa Amini. So thank you for being here tonight. As one of your members of the Federal Parliament, I'm one of your Greens senators here in Victoria. I commit to keeping on working with you and speaking out here on the street, speaking out in the Parliament in Canberra, speaking out until we win, until we achieve justice and freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. For my life, freedom!